If the NFL playoffs were to start today, the San Francisco 49ers would not be a part of it. But I'm here to tell you why I think this is actually a good thing for this locker room and why I think that this is a challenge that the 49ers will gladly accept. Now, we know why they are here, and they are not on this bracket. As you can see, you have the Arizona Cardinals in the 4 seed. They are at the top of the NFC West. Hey, that's what happens when you lose a game to the Cardinals that you should have won. Same thing with the Rams. That currently has the San Francisco 49ers at 4-4 in third place in the NFC West, but they're only one game out. So we understand that this is still within reach, and the San Francisco 49ers aren't too far down the road. Just more of a man, you could have been at the top, but you're not. And we're going to talk about why I think this actually isn't a bad thing for the San Francisco 49ers and why I think it's going to get the boys back on track. So we know why they're here. We know why this has happened. This is how the season has played out up until this point. So we get it. 49ers dropped some games they shouldn't have dropped. But what I do think from looking at this and how the 49ers are wired and how their core group and the culture is has been set is that they don't look at this as something to be afraid of, to be timid of. I think this presents a challenge. And I think if there's anything that we've come to learn from any of these Kyle Shanahan led teams is they don't mind a challenge. Now, obviously, you don't want to put yourself willingly into these holes that you got to climb out of. But if we've seen in past seasons, the 49ers and this core group have been able to overcome a lot of adversity. So I don't think there's much difference here. And also some of the adversity that they've had to come overcome just at the beginning of this year are losing guys like your offensive player of the year, the reigning offensive player of the year in the NFL, and Christian McCaffrey. He's set to return to practice. Not only that, you're getting Jawan Jennings back. They re-sign Tashawn Gibson, which I think, isn't going to save the defense or anything from that standpoint, but you get a familiar face, a veteran presence in that locker room who played a lot of snaps the last 2 seasons. And I think that will be an internal boost. I really do. It might not completely pan out on the field, but when you bring veteran players of that caliber back into a locker room where he already has footing and a foundation, he's going to be welcomed back. And I would imagine we will see him play some snaps. So getting a veteran presence back there could work to the 49ers' benefit, especially if Talanoa Hufanga has trouble returning with the thumb injury. So we'll have to see. But a big portion of this is about players returning. Dre Greenlaw was seen at practice with the helmet and jersey, according to Trent Williams, via Nick Wagner, that he was running off to the side. And Dre Greenlaw running after an Achilles injury, that is good news. So, as we heard from Kyle Shanahan, Dre Greenlaw is expected to be week to week after the bye, which means he could return, I would say, anywhere within the next 4 weeks, which is a good sign. So, of course, the combination of all of this, like the perfect storm of not the first 8 games at how you planned it, how you wanted it to go, but rather understanding, all right, we know why we're here. We understand where we need to improve at and where we need to get better. And that's the thing is we've seen glimpses of this team being what we've expected it to be. That's just the problem. They haven't met those level of expectations, I don't think externally or internally, but that again poses a challenge. That again poses, are you up for the task? And I think this team is. I think this group is. I don't think they shy away from any of this. And I think it triggers something mentally for them to be like, all right, we're being counted out. They don't think we can do this, and they think we're washed, this, that, the other thing, we're overrated, blah, blah, blah. All right, it's time to lock in and it's time to circle the wagons. And I really do think that is the mentality of the San Francisco 49ers team as they head into the second half. And when you look at the schedule, you obviously have the 49ers traveling across country to go play the Buccaneers this week. The Buccaneers are a little bit banged up, but we did see they are still a competitive team with Baker Mayfield at quarterback, as they were able to, make it tough on the Chiefs to win their last game just this past week. And so they're still competing, even though they're down some major offensive weapons in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And so it's still going to be a competitive game, in my opinion, but it's going to be a challenging game. It's not going to be just oh, we're going to go all the way to, Tampa with a 10 a.m. kickoff and just assume that we're going to be as sharp and just explosive as we anticipated, but that is the hope. And if the 49ers do show up like that and they execute on all three phases and play complementary football and just get back to executing their game, the 49ers have a optimal chance to be able to get a win outside of the bye, and then you transition that into the Seattle Seahawks with a home game in week 11. If you can win those two games and you can shift your record to 6-4 as you really start to head into the difficult part of your season, with Christian McCaffrey hopefully being back, the potential return of Dre Greenlaw, and you got the Packers and the Bills, both away games, going to be challenging ones. But again, the key of this is it's not going to be a walkthrough to the Super Bowl. It is going to be a challenge. It's not going to be a walkthrough to the playoffs. It's going to be a challenge. And the San Francisco 49ers, I do believe, are up for the challenge. And that is the entire point. Then you've got Bears week 14, Rams week 15, Dolphins week 16. And then I think really what is going to be the true litmus test, especially for the NFC, is the 49ers face off against the 1 seed, the Lions, week 17 at home, prime time, December 30th. That is going to be a very, very big game. So that's where I think this all comes to a head. But obviously, they finish the season with the Cardinals. If you can, again, get the win against the Rams and the Cardinals in the second half, sweep the Seattle Seahawks, and get some key wins against these other opponents, the San Francisco 49ers are back on track. They're back squarely in the playoff conversation. And we are talking about what the San Francisco 49ers need to do to get back to the Super Bowl. I know no one really wants to talk about that right now, and that's fine. That's a little bit further on down the road. Right now, it's how do you get back on track? How did the San Francisco 49ers put themselves in a position to win and put themselves in a position to be able to attack and go after another Super Bowl run and another Super Bowl appearance? So, like I said, I think this is a good thing. I think this is an opportunity for the San Francisco 49ers to challenge themselves, to be able to have honest conversations about their roles that they've played in this 4-4 start to the season. Where do they correct it? How do they get better? And we saw that in a small form, just going from Chiefs to Dallas, specifically on the offense with Brock and Kyle and the things that they were able to do against Dallas that seemingly weren't at their disposal against the Chiefs. They were able to make adjustments, and those adjustments work to their advantage. So I think as they continue to fine tune, they continue to get players back, and they have an opportunity to go on a run. And if you can get this win against the Bucks and really build that confidence back, I think this is a good thing. I think we can turn this adversity into a good thing. But I'm curious, what do you think? What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.